Hello and welcome to Rathod's IS. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 19th July 2023. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see brief introduction regarding the topics. And let me know one thing from your side, whether this video should be like 50 minutes or 1 hour, or can we complete within 35 to 40 minutes or not. So please let me know your opinion regarding the length of the video, so that based on that I will decide like whether I can increase the speed or whether I can cut down the topics. Okay, so the first topic it is about GM mustard. So as you all know that this GM mustard is in news because government gave green signal for this GM mustard. So this GM mustard is nothing but genetically modified plant. If you're talking about genetically modified plant, it is not the first plant. So we already have BT cotton, that is Bacillus thuringiensis brinjal, Bacillus thuringiensis cotton, and this is the third one, that is GM mustard. So here you have to know about how this genetically modified crops will be made. So here you have to know gene editing technology. So apart from that, you have to know what are the advantages and disadvantages of this genetically modified crops. And here you have to see what Supreme Court said regarding this genetically modified crops. So this article is important from your science and technology, which comes in a GS paper 3. And next topic is about India-France relations. So already from last 1 week onwards, we are discussing this topic because of PM visit to France. And this visit is very important because we came up with a number of agreements, memorandum of understanding for the next 25 years, and we are going to increase bilateral relationship between India and France, and we are going to have developments in the different fields, not only in defense. So this topic is important from your international relations, which comes in the GS paper 2. And next topic is India UAE deal to trade with rupees. So this article which is talking about rupee dirham trade. So in yesterday's lecture and day before yesterday's lecture also we discussed this topic. So now let us try to understand a brief thing regarding this rupee dirham trade, and this topic is important from international relations, which comes in the GS paper 2. And next topic is tracking the new railway proposal for Kerala. So this article is talking about Silver Line project. So this article is important from your economy. So in economy, you will be having a topic called as infrastructure. So from that point of view, this article is important. And next topic it is about rock art, that is about prehistoric rock art, which is seen in 3 caves which are located in AB's Rudragiri area. And this topic is important from your history point of view, which comes in a GS paper 1. And next topic it is about report which given by World Health Organization. So this report is about one important vaccine, that is DPT, diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. So these are the 3 important vaccines. It is a combination of 3 vaccines actually. So it said that India recorded 93% of this immunization coverage in 2022. So this is according to WHO report. And this topic is important from your science and technology, which comes in the GS paper 3. And next topic is derailed India-Russia Vande Bharat deal in back on track. So this article is talking about India-Russia deal. So do you know about this Vande Bharat? Yes, you might knowing about this Vande Bharat. It is a fast train network in India, and our Prime Minister, he unveiled or he opened or he gave inauguration for this Vande Bharat trains in a number of areas. And actually 3 months ago we have a deal with Russia regarding this development of Vande Bharat, but because of some issues it had been stopped, and again we are on track now. So we are going to have Russian help for the development of this Vande Bharat trains. And this topic is important from your international relations, which comes in the GS paper 2. So these are the topics. Now we are going to have discussion. So now let us see the first topic. So first topic it is about a push for GM mustard. So here you have to understand what is genetically modified mustard. So why we need this genetically modified crops. So what is the need here? So you have to know about these two things, and this is your homework. So try to do this homework. And if you see the context, it says that here now there is a battle which is going on between environmentalist, activist and Supreme Court of our India. So this battle, it is against Delhi University genetically modified GM mustard or genetically modified mustard. And this genetically modified mustard, it is herbicide tolerant. It is herbicide tolerant mustard, and it stands between genetically modified food and Indian farmers and as well as consumers. So this is a battle regarding this genetically modified food. So what is the impact on Indian farmers and as well as consumers? So we're talking about these genetically modified crops. They are quite different from the traditional varieties. So these traditional varieties are also called as conventional varieties and hybrids, and such as those developed by farmers, agricultural research institutions as well as companies. So these crops will be developed by the agricultural research institutes and companies, and they will be grown by farmers. So biotechnologists, so these people, they will do genetical modification or genetic engineering. They will be using this genetic engineering technology, and they will be inserting selected genes in the random locations in the DNA of plant. So they will be taking the plant cell. So normally plant cell will be in this hexagonal shape. So it have nucleus. Inside nucleus they will be having chromosomes, and they will be isolating the DNA, right? So after isolating this DNA, so they will be removing the undecided part and they will be inserting the decided part here. So this technology is called as genetic engineering technology. So here we will be using CRISPR-Cas9. So this is very much useful for the cutting of the DNA at the selected places, and we will be using GNA like Fevicol. So it is not exactly Fevicol, but here we will be using the ligases. Ligases will be adding the genes, okay, at the prominent places. So whenever we are going for insertion of genetically modified crops, so with express traits that is ordinary would not. So in this genetical modification, so we will be going for inserting of the desired genes and removal of undesired genes. For example, in this genetically modified mustard, it has been altered with the withstand with broad spectrum plant killer. So normally when we are going for the sowing of crop, for example, this is the crop. So in this crop, what happened along with the desired crop, so there will be the herbs and weeds, they will be grown. So we have to remove them. So if we are not removing that weeds, means what are the nutrients that you are giving, that will be taken by the weeds, and that will lead to finally decreasing of productivity of the crop. So that we will be go for removing of weeds. So weeds can be removed manually. So if you are going for removing manually by using the labor, the cost will be high and the time taken will also be very high. So instead of that, we can go and we can go to the market and we can bring the herbicide and we can spray. But what happens if you're talking about this broad spectrum herbicides, they will be even killing, when we are spraying them, even they will be killing the crops. So this is the one disadvantage. So because of this, what are the plants or what are the crops that you are growing, that should be herbicide resistant. That means even if you are spraying this herbicide, they have to kill only the weeds and unwanted plants, but not the crop. So this is the herbicide tolerant plants. So in this way here, this makes it easier to develop hybrid mustard seeds for the higher yield. So whenever we are making this herbicide tolerant, so even if you are using the herbicide, so it will not kill the crop, so that it will increase the productivity and we can get the higher yields. And farmers, they are growing this GM mustard, they can spray herbicide to kill all plants except the mustard. So we're talking about these GM crops in India. So now there is a debate which is going on in the news. So India has seen a robust debate on genetically modified crops in the last 2 decades. So here a debate which is going on between environmentalists, scientists, politicians, farmers and even consumers. So now here Supreme Court, that is higher judiciary in our country, it has asked probing the questions about what is the safety, what is the efficacy, whether it is necessary to go for genetically modified variety or not. And now actually we already had the experience by using this BT cotton and BT brinjal, and actually here because of this BT cotton that led to increasing of production of cotton. So because of this, the first and only GM crop which approved in our country is BT cotton. And after that, the long-term research on this BT cotton which said that it will provide only fleeting benefits to farmers, and finally at last it led to increasing of their cost of inputs and as well as cultivation, and even there is increased risk when you are going for this growing of BT cotton. So on other hand, even some seed companies which are producing this BT cotton, they had been profited but not the farmers at the last. So in the wake of this debate, even we came up with two standing committees of parliament. They were set up independently regarding the examination of these GM crops, that is genetically modified crops, and as well as food. So not only this, even Supreme Court, the first one is the standing committee of parliament, second one is even Supreme Court appointed technical expert committee in public interest litigation which filed separately by the non-government organization. And finally these two reports are released. The first one is standing committee report and next one is technical expert committee of Supreme Court. So they came with releasing of report. The Standing Committee on Agriculture, which set up in 2012, and in 2013 report was released during this Manmohan Singh government, and this is the first report, and second one which is appointed in 2017 during this present government. So both committees, they included the members of parliament from the ruling and as well as opposition parties, and they worked for about 5 years. And these two committees, they highlighted the major weaknesses in the regulating the system, and as well as they also highlighted about the caution that should be taken before releasing this GM food into the market. And next one is the Committee on Science and Technology, Environment and Forest, which make a specific reference to GM mustard and asked government to conduct thorough, independent and transparent assessment of long-term biosafety and as well as environmental risk and socio-economic impacts as well. So 5 out of 6 technical committee members, they also pointed out the deficiencies in the safety assessment. There is no proper safety in this GM crops, and this report released in 2013. And here this committee which said that herbicide tolerant crops, wherever you see this HT, that is nothing but herbicide tolerant. So herbicide tolerant crops, they are completely unsuitable in Indian context. So even this committee warned that we are going to have some serious impact on environment and rural livelihoods and sustainable agriculture if they were released into the market. So instead the government is pushing ahead with GM mustard, reckless disregard about the science and the law. So this is one important cause of concern. And even the safety data or biosafety data regarding this GM mustard, which is not released in the public domain. And the Right to Information Act and the declaration to this effect by Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee of Environment Ministry. And it is not adequately responding to the criticism from the agricultural scientists that already available non-GM mustard hybrids and that have better yields than the GM mustard. So if we're talking about the misleading the court, so the recent hearings in our Supreme Court, they get around the growing evidences of long-term ecological and health risk of herbicide tolerant crops. And actually in fact that here herbicide tolerant crops, regarding this what happened, we don't know whether they are withstanding these herbicides or not. And if they are not, means they will be having severe impact on our environment as well, even impact on public health, environmental protection, agricultural livelihoods, etc. So if you are going for releasing of this GM mustard into the market, so we will be getting the more genetically modified crops, for example for cotton, rice, maize, etc. So because of this, it will lead to the imbalance in our ecology. So this is about this topic. And next topic is India, France, and what keeps their ties sticking. So this article is important from GS paper 2 under international relations. So already we discussed this topic, and now let us try to see in brief. So recently, why this is news? Because our Honorable Prime Minister, he went to France on visit on 25th anniversary of India-France strategic partnership. So the visit is very much special that our Prime Minister was invited to be the chief guest at the Ballistic Day parade as well. So because of this also it is very special. And this visit which concluded by signing the several agreements and as well as series of defense deal. And the two countries also outlined the roadmap for the next 25 years, that is till 2047. So it is called as India-France Ties 2047 or Horizon 2047. So if talking about what are the outcomes of India's Prime Minister visit. So first and the foremost thing is Horizon 2047. So this agreement which was signed between India and France, which included a strategic roadmap for next 25 years, and it is focusing on three important pillars. First one is partnership for security and sovereignty. Next one is partnership for planet, and next one is partnership for people. Partnership for security and sovereignty, partnership for planet, and partnership for people. So this agreement which includes variety of the fields of cooperation. So in which areas, in which fields? So in the field of defense, space, nuclear energy, climate change, green transition, education, as well as even people to people ties. So in all these areas we are going to have the wide range of agreements between India and France. Though in this roadmap here India-France strategic partnership will further diversify into the new areas of cooperation. So in future we are going to see in other areas also we are going to have the good cooperation, and a roadmap to cooperate in Indo-Pacific region was also released, and we are having agreement including military and even naval exchanges as well. And we are also having trilateral fund to help countries which are present in Indo-Pacific region. So especially countries in this Indo-Pacific region, so they are facing a lot of threat. For example, they are facing a security threat and as well as threat because of increasing of sea level. So under defense cooperation here, it's French company and as well as DRDO, they are going to jointly develop jet engines for advanced medium combat aircraft and submarines, etc. So if we're talking about what is the significance of India-France relations, so first and the foremost thing here is it is important for strategic autonomy. So France-India strategic relationship is built on respect for each other's strategic autonomy. For example, other European countries like France, they has avoided any comment on India's internal affairs, and as well as even they are not talking about the foreign policy choices of India. And if you're talking about French support, is very much required for the nuclear test. So even in 1974 and 1998, when India came up with this Pokhran testing, at that time here Western countries, they put sanctions on India but not France. And next one is strategic partnership. So Franco-Indian strategic partnership, which comes at one of the top priorities to 30 strategic partnership with the various countries. And if you're talking about the next one is Franco-Indian strategic partnership, so we are also covering the different dimensions like partnership in the fields like defense, space, climate change, critical technology, people to people ties, etc. And next one is Indo-Pacific. So France maintains a notable presence as resident power in Indo-Pacific region, and as well as we are going to have some bases in the other overseas territories like Reunion, New Caledonia, French Polynesia, okay. And we are also having joint exercises between India and France, and even we are going to get some technological assistance from the France. The collaboration between India and France in domains, for example, like supercomputing, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, they hold a significant importance for India's future. Okay, so this is about this topic, and now let us see the next topic. It is about India UAE deal on trade with rupee. So it is about rupee dirham trade. So this article is important from international relations and even from economy point of view. So international relations comes under GS paper 2, economy comes under GS paper 3. So we're talking about context. It says that during our Prime Minister visit to UAE, so they came up with memorandum of understanding between RBI is the Central Bank of India, and also the Central Bank of UAE. So they signed two important memorandum of understandings. So this is the first established framework to promote the use of local currencies for cross-border transactions, and the other was for interlinking the payment systems. So the first of the two memorandum of understandings, they also aims to establish a local currency settlement system, and they want to promote the use of rupee and dirham bilaterally, and even it will cover all current and permitted capital account transactions as well. So here RBI said that it would enable exports and as well as imports to send invoices, and they will be paying in some respect to with respect to domestic currencies. So in this way it will be very much helpful for the development of in INR, that is rupee, and as well as dirham foreign exchange market. So in this way, so whenever you are having the trade within the domestic currency, it will also help for promoting of investments and remittances. So this arrangement which will be helpful for optimizing the transaction cost, and even that will be helpful for the reducing this settlement time for the transactions, including for remittances from India who are residing in UAE. So we're talking about two memorandum of understandings. The first one is to local currency settlement system, to establish this local currency settlement system, and we are going to promote the use of rupee and dirham bilaterally, and even it will cover all current and as well as capital account transactions. And second MOU, which links unified payment interface, that is UPI, with UAE counterpart for the instant payment platform, and even alongside the linking of card which switches, that rupee switch and as well as UAE switch. So talking about next topic is about new railway proposal for Kerala. So this article is important from infrastructure, which comes in the GS paper 3. So if you see here context, it says that in Kerala a new semi-high speed railway which expected to cruise at an average speed of 125 kmph. So here we are having this a semi-high speed railway, and the average speed here is 125 kmph, and also focusing on set to travel 420 kilometers Thiruvananthapuram Kannur north south corridor, and the alignment of the trains, it will be largely that of alignment is suggested in 2015 for the high speed rail corridor. So if you're focusing on details, it says that trains in Kerala, they are operating at rock bottom speed, and if you see the speed earlier trains, which is not more than 50 kmph, because we are having stops, we are having a number of curves, etc. So railway has redid this projects to strengthen existing railway tracks, and it is also proposed that we have to strengthen the curves so that they are capable of hosting the trains which will be moving above 110 kilometers per hour speed. So we're talking about this project. What is a Silver Line project? So it is a proposed 529.45 railway line, and the proposed link that will connect Thiruvananthapuram in the south to Kasaragod in the north. So it will be covering overall 11 districts. So here the project which has been executed by Kerala Rail Development Corporation Limited, and this project which has a deadline, it is about 2025. So we're talking about what is the need here. The need here is we have to meet the demands. It has been argued that existing railway infrastructure in Kerala, that is not meeting the demands of the future. So because of this, especially we have to go for upgrading the technology so that it can meet the demands in the future. And second one is traffic loads. So the government which claims that Silver Line project that can take the significant load of this traffic, and as well as it will also leads to decreasing of pollution, and even that will also leads to the improving of quality. And even so whenever there is a decreasing of movement of the cars or vehicles, so the amount of smoke that is released is also very less. So because of this, here we can also go for pollution reduction. And if you're talking about growth, the growth of Kerala cities and census towns is limited geographically. So because of this, there is substantial need to accommodate high rises in the residential and as well as commercial demand. So we're talking about tourism, Kerala will be benefiting from the large tourism industry and because of the efficient movements of visitors. And if you talk about even, there are some other benefits like conservation of vehicular traffic and as well as electric engines. So we are going to keep road transport corridor as well as rail and waterway tracks, okay, reasonably under patent, under efficiency and as well as carbon neutral things. So we're talking about what are the causes regarding this protest against the Silver Line project. Yes, there are some protests which are mainly happening because, so whenever we are going with the developmental projects, so we have to go for land acquisition. So here displacement of families is one important problem because whenever the petition which is filed here, they are claiming that project was financially unviable, then that would lead to displacement of about 30,000 families. And next one is environmental concerns. So activists, they have alleged that environmental harm which as a route cuts through the precious wetlands, paddy fields and the hills. And next one is improper planning. So the project is said as ill conceived and as well as defectively planned. So further it is said that there is a need for a lot of correction including its back track width. So there is improper planning as well. So talking about financing, critics largely cite the burden of debt financing of project and even that will be having impact on state finances. Okay, and next one is floods. So Kerala, which is having the steep drainage and is also oriented with the east to west, and many embankments, they will be impacted because of increasing of rainfall or the floods here. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let us see next topic. It is about a fascinating fusion of rock art in AP's Rudragiri. So this article is important from your history point of view. So if you see the context, it says that Rudragiri hillock located in the village of Urvakallu, Achampet Mandal, which is located in the Guntur district of AP. So here this archaeological sites which boost a celebrated historical past and remarkable archaeological monuments. So actually this site unveils a fascinating combination of prehistoric rock paintings from Mesolithic period and executive art from the Kakatiya dynasty. So actually if you see here, so we are having the case, so we found the case. So in that case, so we have Mesolithic periods paintings and as well as we are also having the great artwork of Kakatiya dynasty. So this Rudragiri, which is present in the Eastern Ghats and which have features 5 naturally formed rock shelters, and they are present in the foothills and as well as they are facing towards westernwards. So we're talking about these shelters. They are serving as living quarters for the people who are during this Mesolithic age, that is around 5000 BC. And interestingly, 2 natural caves at the bottom at the southern end, that is the bottom of this hillock, it will be also exhibit the exceptional murals from the renowned Kakatiya kingdom, and actually it will be also showcasing the brilliance of Kakatiya period. And the paintings adorned with a variety of colors, they derived from white cayenne and as well as different pigments like they already used, and especially they are depicting the scenes of Ramayana. So the first cave, there are 3 important caves. The first cave, it is starting from southern end of the hillock, which represents a narrative and as well as mural portraying the intense battle which is between the Vanara brothers. So what is Vanara brothers? That is Vali and as well as Sugriva. So in middle cave here, there are paintings regarding Hanuman. For example, some sacred symbols of Shanka and fire altar, that is nothing but Yajna Vedika. And next one is Hanuman, who is carrying Sanjeevani hill in his head, which symbolizes his mission to save this Lakshman life. And the third cave, in the third cave houses, we have this prehistoric rock paintings from the Mesolithic era. So next topic it is about India reports a record 93% of DPT3 immunization coverage in 2022, says WHO. So actually, if you see the countries, it says that the DPT, the third dose of diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus vaccines in India rose to on an all-time high, that is about 93% in 2022, and will be surpassing this previous pre-pandemic best of 91%. And actually here there is a sharp increase from 85% that is seen in 2021 to 93%. So if you're talking about the details, World Health Organization UNICEF estimates that national immunization coverage for 2022. So this document has been released, and this document which shows that WHO says Southeast Asian region, the coverage rate of this DPT3 which is recovered to the pre-pandemic levels of 91%. Okay, and actually we can see there is a sharp increase. Okay, there is a sharp increase from 82%, which is recorded in 2021. So if we're talking about the region, this region which also expressed or witnessed 6% of improvement in the coverage of measles vaccine. Okay, and the number of zero dose children, zero dose means till now they did not took any vaccines, which also had been decreased, and the number which is partially vaccinated children, that means they already had at least one dose of this DPT, so they are also eliminated. And the region which had the best immunization recoveries among all the WHO regimes, so this can be majorly distributed or attributed to the efforts that is being made by India as well as Indonesia. So talking about in Indonesia, that is case studies, so they reported DPT3 coverage of 85% in 2022, but actually it has raising sharply from 67% which had recorded in 2021. So even if you're talking about other countries like Bhutan, which had 98%, and Maldives 9%, and Bangladesh 98%, and as well as Thailand 97%. So if we're talking about this DPT, so what is this exactly? So it is a combination of vaccines, and it is given to protect 3 infectious diseases. So that is diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. So D for diphtheria, T for tetanus, and P for pertussis. So here diphtheria and pertussis, they spread from one person to another person, while this tetanus which is entering the body. So how this tetanus will enter? For example, if you have any cut or if you have any wound, you will be suggested to take TT, right? So TT is nothing but tetanus. So here if you're talking about the diphtheria, so diphtheria, it is one of the serious bacterial infection, and this infection that will be affecting the mucous membrane as well as nose and as well as throat, and it appears as a blister, and its symptoms, they are swelling in the throat. The symptoms like they will be having swelling in the throat, they will be having pain in the throat, and there will be difficulty in eating and as well as drinking. But we are having the vaccine to avoid that. So tetanus usually causes painful tightening of muscles throughout the body, and even it will be affecting the jaw. We can't open and we can't take the food. So pertussis is nothing but whooping cough, so it causes severe cough. So this also makes it difficult for the babies to eat, babies to drink, and as well as breathe. And if you are not treating this pertussis, so this will be like a disease which leads to the complications like pneumonia, convulsions, brain damage, and as well as death. And now let's see the next topic. It is about derailed India-Russia Vande Bharat deal is back on track. So this article just talking about India-Russia relations. So this article is very important from GS paper 2. So after nearly 3 months of being derailed, now again Russia and India, they came towards each other for the joint venture of development of this Vande Bharat trains. So if you're talking about details, so joint venture between Russia and as well as an Indian public sector undertaking, that is Rail Vikas Nigam. So they came with an agreement to develop 120 Vande Bharat trains. So what are the problems which are faced by India-Russia joint venture on this Vande Bharat trains? The first and the foremost thing here is issue with shareholding. Okay, so the companies, they are agreed regarding this shareholding, but this shareholding, it is not accepted by the party. And next one is import of spares. So here if you want to develop these trains, you are not getting the spare parts, so we have to get them from European countries or American countries, but on this Ukraine the sanctions had been imposed. And if you're talking about what is this Vande Bharat trains, so Vande Bharat, it is a semi high speed rail. Currently two Vande Bharat trains, they were in operation, that is Delhi to Varanasi as well as Delhi to Kudro. So they are self-propelled trains and that do not require an engine. Okay, so the feature, it is distributed traction power system, which is necessarily becoming the norm. Okay, which is becoming the norm the world over the passenger operations. So this Vande Bharat trains or the high speed trains are about 120 kmph, but because of the tracks which are present in India, that is railway lanes, so they are not suitable for that much speed, so we have to go for changing of that as well. So this is about this topic, and now let us try to see the newspaper PDF. So before seeing that, I want to make a small announcement. We in Rathod size, we came with this mains answer writing practice, that is daily answer writing practice course. So in this course we are going to give you a detailed schedule for the next 1 year along with the micro listing of topics. Daily one question will be given to you, and you have to write and you have to send to us so that evaluation will be done. On Sundays you will be having essay or case study. Okay, and apart from that there will be live classes and doubt clearing sessions, and we're also providing one-to-one mentorship. Okay, so this course is very much affordable. Try to join this course, and if you want to talk to me directly, you can call me on this number 8074765513. Okay, and even this is telegram number and as well as WhatsApp number. You can text me on this number as well. So now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So this is our today's Hindu. Date here is July 19 and today is Wednesday. So first, in the first front page, there is nothing important, and here you can see in the city page that is about Yamuna finally below danger mark, water supply restored. So here you have to know about some facts regarding river Yamuna, tributaries, etc. And if you move forward in the states page, you can see UP has left its Bhimaru tag behind, says CM Adityanath. So UP Chief Minister, he said that UP had been removed from this Bhimaru tag. Now it is contributing positively to the process of India's development, and it is being on the path of becoming Saksham Pradesh. So this is the thing which said by Yogi Adityanath. And here you can see one article which is important from the case study, that is Dalit woman Sarpanch beaten up. So if you are district magistrate of that so and so area, so how you can respond? So what are the steps that you are going to take in? So please let me know in the comment box. And if you move forward, here in this page number 6, you can see as exports dip in the face of global uncertainty, no clear target for financial year 2024. So this article is talking about merchandise exports and imports. And next one is about rock art in AP's Rudragiri. I discussed this topic. And if you move forward in this editorial page, so here you can see this article regarding India-France relations. I discussed this topic, and I discussed this topic regarding GM mustard, and this topic is not all important. It is regarding Commonwealth Games. And here you can see this article which is regarding ED. So if you have time, you can go to this ED, and already I discussed this topic in our earlier lectures. And if you move forward in this text and context, I discussed this topic regarding rupee dirham trade. I discussed this topic regarding new railway proposal for China. And in this news page, you can see Supreme Court Collegium recommends 4 advocates as High Court judges. So you can see what is the role of Supreme Court Collegium and what is this exactly. And if you move forward, here you can see this article regarding this diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus vaccine. I discussed that topic. And next one is derailed India-Russia Vande Bharat, the deal is back on track. I discussed this topic. And the world page, here you can see Russia targets Ukraine's port of Odessa. Odessa calls it is a payback for the strike on bridge to Crimea. So here you have to see where is this port of Odisha is located, and you have to see the location as well. And in the business page you can see this article, that is monsoon's uneven march could fuel food inflation and caution economist. So now what happened, this monsoon which is not seen even, so in the southern part we got a few rainfalls, and later on now we can see heavy rainfalls in the northern part of our country. So there is uneven distribution of rainfall. So because of this, yes, that might be the one reason for increasing of food inflation. So this is the thing which mainly said. Okay, so here you can see this infographic regarding sowing concern. So despite a better July so far, lifting overall rainfall which is above average, the distribution has been erratic, and as well as it is also affecting this kharif sowing as well. So here the widest fall was recorded in Arhar, which is an area which is about more than 38% lower, and July is a crucial period for the kharif sowing. It is about 32% of rains occur in this month. Okay, so and even we are going to have a good thing, that is overall sown area of this kharif crop was 2% lower when we are comparing with this 2022. Even though there is uneven monsoon, there is just 2% of decreasing of this kharif sowing. So these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So one thing I want to say here is, if you really like this video, please hit the like button and try to share this video with your friends, Telegram groups, Telegram channels, etc. And one more thing is, don't forget to join this mains answering practice course. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much.